Welcome to Cusco, Peru, known as the city that's a jumping off spot for Machu Picchu. Now this video will provide 10 reasons why people love Cusco. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Cusco, Peru. Population around 450,000. Now just for context, we have a map here. We have circled Cusco. Cusco is a 1-hour flight from Lima and 1-hour flight from Arequipa. Now this video will provide 10 reasons why people love Cusco. People love Cusco because of Santo Domingo and Qoricancha. The Church of Santo Domingo is built on the ruins of the famous Inca site of Qoricancha, or Temple of the Sun. Qoricancha means golden courtyard, and its walls were once lined with sheets of solid gold. Statues and ornaments of gold decorated the interior, and a large gold disc reflected the sun, casting a brilliant light on the temple. All this was stripped by the conquistadors soon after they arrived in Cusco, and most of the gold was melted down. All that remains today of the once glorious Qoricancha is the fine Inca stonework, which forms the foundation of the Church of Santo Domingo. From both inside and outside, you can see the impressive 6-meter high curved wall at one end of the church. Unlike much of the Spanish architecture, the Inca Wall has withstood the major earthquakes that rocked Cusco in 1650, 1950, and 1986. In the center of the courtyard is a structure which was once covered with 55 kilograms of gold, and along the sides of the courtyard are small Inca rooms whose smooth gray stones and sharp angles are a stark contrast to the rounded arches and Spanish architecture that surrounds them. People love Cusco because of Sacsayhuaman. The massive fortified complex of Sacsayhuaman is the most significant ruin in Cusco and is close enough to the historic center that you can walk there. Many tourists stop to see it on the way to Pisac. Sacsayhuaman is thought to have both military and religious significance. Cusco was designed in the shape of a puma, with Sacsayhuaman as the head. 3 ramparts of zigzagging defense walls extend for almost 300 meters, forming the teeth of the puma. The fascination of this ruin is not just its staggering size, but the size of the stones from which it was built and the complexity of the stonework. Consider that what you see here is only about 20% of the original mass. Until it was protected in the 1930s, blocks from Sacsayhuaman were being hauled away to use for construction in Cusco. Most of the largest stones, which were more difficult to move, were left at the site and formed the basic structure. Some of these stones measure more than 8 meters high and weigh 361 tons. People love Cusco because of the Plaza De Armas. The Plaza De Armas has been the heart of Cusco from the time of the Inca Empire. The cathedral on the northeast side of the Plaza de Armas is the main attraction, and you'll often find both locals and tourists relaxing on its steps. On one side of the cathedral is the Church of Jesus Maria, and on the other is El Triunfo. The southeastern side of the main square is dominated by the Church of La Compania, which is easily mistaken for the cathedral because of its ornate facade. However, it is smaller and lacks the grand stairs in the front. The other 2 sides of the Plaza de Armas are lined with colonial arcades. The center of the square is a place to rest on the benches and admire the gardens and fountains in the center as you watch daily life in Cusco. The plaza is especially lively and beautiful at night, with people strolling around the buildings lit with spotlights. People love Cusco because of the Inca Walls. Walking beside the ancient Inca Walls that line the narrow streets of Cusco is like walking through an outdoor museum. These intricately constructed Inca Walls are the foundation of today's Cusco, and although they are found all over the city, a few areas stand out. Some of the best places to see them are along the streets. On the northeast part of Plaza de Armas is the famous 12-sided stone found along the east wall. It's usually easy to spot because souvenir sellers set up regularly directly across from the stone. The curved end of Santo Domingo Church is another outstanding example of Inca stonework. People love Cusco because of the Cusco Cathedral. Construction on Cusco's cathedral began in 1559 and was completed in 1669. It is built on the site where the Inca Palace once stood. The 3-aisled nave of the Renaissance-style church is supported by 14 massive pillars, remarkably few for such a large nave. The main altar, made of silver, weighs 400 kilograms, and the choir stalls are intricately carved from cedar. Even more impressive is the cathedral's collection of more than 400 paintings from the Cusco school. These paintings from the 16th and 17th century are unique in that they reflect European style, but with an obvious native Andean influence. You can see a good example of this in The Last Supper by Marco Zapata, which shows the apostles dining on guinea pig. The painting of the crucifixion in the sacristy is attributed to Van Dyck. People of Cusco because of Museo Inka. The best museum in Cusco for those interested in the Incas, Museo Inka, is housed in the ornate 16th century Spanish Admiral's house, a building worth a visit on its own right. The house, which belongs to Admiral Maldonado, was built on Inca foundations. It was damaged severely in both the 1650 and 1950 earthquakes, but has been repaired and is one of the most impressive colonial houses in Cusco. The collections focus on the Incas, from the rise of their culture to the conquest and its impact on Peruvian culture. Displayed are ceramics, textiles, metal and gold work, jewelry, mummies, and skulls that show an early surgical method of trepanning. People of Cusco because of Museo Casa Concha. A century after archaeologist Hiram Bingham brought Machu Picchu to world attention, the artifacts he found there were repatriated from the Yale University Museum, where he had deposited them. Returned to Peru in 2011 after decades of often contentious negotiations, they are now displayed in the former home of Jose de Santiago Concha, an aristocrat from the early days of the conquest. 12 rooms of the beautiful balconied house, which spread out over 3 courtyards, house a collection of more than 360 artifacts that include items from large ceramic pots to small silver pins. People of Cusco because of La Compania. Compania de Jesus, usually called La Compania, is a Jesuit church built in the 16th century. It was badly damaged in the 1650 earthquake, but was rebuilt and finished in late 1660s. La Compania was a source of considerable controversy when it was built because its grandeur threatened to surpass that of the cathedral in the same square. The Bishop of Cusco complained about the church's lavish design, and the argument was finally brought to Pope Paul III to arbitrate. The Pope sided with the bishop, but by the time word of his decision reached Cusco, the Jesuits had almost completed La Compania. So the Pope's decision had little effect, and La Compania's impressive ornate baroque facade still rivals the cathedral. It is particularly beautiful when illuminated at light, but even the ornate facade doesn't prepare you for the magnificent gold altarpiece studded with polychrome statues. People of Cusco because of La Merced. The Baroque church and convent of La Merced was built between 1657 and 1680, replacing an earlier church built here in 1536 and destroyed in the 1650 earthquake that devastated much of Cusco. La Merced is considered the third most important colonial church in Cusco after the cathedral and La Compania. The most precious of the church's treasures is the sacristy, a gold monstrance set with precious stones and a giant pearl, held to be the world's second largest. People of Cusco because of San Blas Neighbourhood. The San Blas Neighbourhood rises on a hill to the northeast of the Plaza De Armas. The area is known for its narrow cobbled streets filled with small art galleries and artisan workshops, as they have been since Inca times. This area comes to life in the evenings when the shops and restaurants open, but San Blas Plaza is lively all day on Saturdays when it is filled with colorful market stalls. At the end of the plaza is the adobe church of San Blas from 1562 with an ornate gold Baroque altar and an exceptional pulpit carved from a single tree. Legend holds that the skull upon which the sculpture of St. Paul rests his foot is the pulpit's creator. A terrace above the plaza offers good views across the red tile rooftops of Cusco. The reasons provided in this video are not all the reasons why people love Cusco. If you've got a reason why you love Cusco, pop it in the comment section. I'll make another video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Ciao for now!